Element 25, using academic games. Take a look at this picture. What do you notice? Kids are smiling, students are all focused on the same thing, and the group seems to really be enjoying themselves. Well, do you want to know the secret of how you can get this in your classroom? The answer is games. Yep, games, you heard me right. But wait a minute, some of you might be thinking, aren't those just for recess and fun times? I've got serious stuff to cover and no time to waste. Well, here are some bright ideas to get you thinking about games. Strategies like What is the Question, or better known as Jeopardy, Classroom Feud, other inconsequential competition games such as Kahoot, and vocabulary review games galore that you can think of and make resembling games you are already familiar with are the tools you need for classroom success. Your own personal bonus as a teacher will be if kids are asking the rewarding question, "Can we play that game again sometime?" Well, let's take a look from a video from ASAP Science that looks into games, particularly video games, and the benefits that can be reaped from them.
And a waste of time by some. The debate has raged on for years. So, are there any positive effects? Can video games actually make you smarter? Before we get ahead of ourselves, it's important to note that too much of anything is bad. Even broccoli. Seriously, extremely high doses of broccoli can actually be toxic. Heck, even water toxicity exists. So if you binge and do nothing but play video games, the risks probably outweigh any benefits. In fact, we have an entire video devoted to what would happen if you stopped going outside and the negative effects of sitting. Link in the description. Having said that, many studies have actually shown increases in cognitive function after playing video games. One study in particular had participants play Super Mario 64 for 30 minutes a day over 2 months. Afterwards, the brains of these participants saw an increase of gray matter in areas associated with memory, strategic planning, and fine motor skills of the hands compared to those who had not played. These are particularly encouraging results for mental disorders which cause these brain regions to shrink, using video games as a therapy. Surprisingly, action games can also increase attention to detail in individuals. Take a look at the following words on screen and yell out what color the word is as fast as you can. So, green, blue, orange. Okay, now try a bit faster without me. As we continue, it becomes more difficult because there's a conflict between the word itself and its color. Chances are, if you play more than 5 to 10 hours of action games a week, you're able to solve these problems much more quickly. This is because your brain is actually more efficient in the regions associated with attention. Of course, video games can also be incredibly educational, and while you may not be playing some of your favorite games for this purpose, there are certainly many games that are used as effective teaching tools for both young and old. They may even help kids who suffer from dyslexia read more effectively. In a small study, dyslexic children who played regular video games ended up reading faster and more accurately, once again relating to improved attention skills. Meanwhile, other studies have found improvements in eyesight. Not only can they see smaller details more clearly, like tiny writing, but they have an easier time differentiating levels of gray. Very practiced action gamers were 58% better at perceiving fine differences in contrast, which is important as this is one of the first things to diminish with age. Even in the elderly, improved memory and focus is seen. More importantly, specially designed brain-teasing video games have been shown to slow the aging process of the brain by up to 7 years. This is because they are cognitively complex and require mental energy. Think you're able to keep track of what's in front of your eyes? Keep an eye on the blue circle here. Eventually, it will turn yellow like all the others. I will then point to a circle and you tell me if it was originally blue. If you knew this ball wasn't blue, then you're a functioning human being. But let's make it harder. Staring at the middle of the screen can help to keep track of the blue circles. Was this circle originally blue? If you said no, you'd be right. One more time, but with 5 blue circles. Was this one originally blue? Yep, it was. It turns out the average person can track about 3 to 4 objects, while practiced action gamers can track around 6 to 7. Finally, as technology continues to transform medicine, surgeries are being completed with the insertion of cameras and remote-controlled tools. And these surgeries have very clear parallels to video games with a screen and a controlling device. Not surprisingly, young doctors with previous exposure to video games show fewer errors and faster completion than those without. Of course, all of these skills are only useful if you use them, which you can't if all you do is play video games. So enjoy your downtime and relax with your games in moderation, but get out there and keep your life diverse as well, because that's how you'll win at the game of life. Got a burning question you want answered? Ask it in the comments or on Facebook and Twitter. And if you want the inside scoop on upcoming episode ideas and behind the scenes, check out our personal Instagram and Twitter handles, and subscribe for more weekly science videos.
Okay, so let's sum up quickly what video games in moderation can offer us. Here are a few benefits. Memory increase, strategic gains in thinking, increase in attentiveness, educational gains in academics, college and career skills for the future also. So let's go back, take a look at strategy 1. What is the question? Whenever you're doing what is the question, or better yet known as Jeopardy, you need to have multiple categories for students to choose from the subject you're covering. If you look inside the light bulb, at the very top, this is where you're going to put your subjects. You need to make your questions harder as the point value increases under each category. So of course you can see the top box is worth $200, while the bottom one is $1,000. With each category in question, give a clue by giving, showing, or stating the answer so that students can make a question from the information you've given them. If the question stated is correct, then the point value for the category and box chosen is awarded. So if you're thinking about using this strategy, just keep in mind that it's great to use for review of concepts, and it's easily implemented in technology. You can use your interactive whiteboard and using the internet or your slide presentations, either Google Slides or Microsoft. One example to try out can be found through Teachers Pay Teachers website, and the best thing, it's free. Strategy 2, Classroom Feud. What you need to do for this to work is to divide your class into at least 2 teams. Have enough questions created so that each student in the class has a chance to answer as a spokesperson for his or her team. So, the spokesperson is going to stand up and answer the question given by the instructor, which is you. However, the spokesperson has 15 seconds to answer, and they may receive help from their other teammates. Uh-oh, but what if they get it wrong? Then what? Well, the next team may steal the point. However, if that team also doesn't answer correctly, then no points are given to either teams. If you want to use this strategy, it's great to use for review of concepts, and once again, it's easily implemented with your interactive whiteboard and by using the internet. If you're looking for a great template, one website that offers varied template styles is freebies.about.com. Also, if you want to throw in more technology when you're using Classroom Feud, check out polling technology. Polleverywhere.com is a great source that you can use. The third strategy, inconsequential competitions. All right, a little competition with no strings attached. Oh, okay, except to review and learn subject content. But it's great, and it gets kids excited for the questions that you have for them. These competitive games can be any games that a student might play through a website, even if they're just typical multiplication games. But you can have them done on the interactive whiteboard for everyone to be involved in. Students can review concepts, and they can work on mastery in spelling, vocab, and facts that they might need to know. Kahoot is a great game for students to play that is multiple choice. It keeps track of points for students as well as award points based on speed and accuracy in your answers. For Kahoot, create your quiz as a teacher, and then give your students the PIN number to your game, and away you go. The last strategy is for vocabulary review games. Vocab review games are basically any type of game you can create, that you can think of, or that you can find. Anything that's going to beef up the time kids spend learning word after word after word. Let's face it, Repetitive lists can become monotonous over time. If you look in your book, pages 108 and 109 offer many suggestions for vocab games, ranging from versions that you know of, like the classic memory game, to relay type games. Also, Vocabulary.com offers many options for classroom vocabulary games. Want some more strategies? Check out Teachers Pay Teachers. At that website, you will find a vocabulary crossword puzzle. Everybody knows how crossword puzzles work. Create your own. Basically, have the students create their own as well, using the words that you need for them to know. Word Battleship. Have students play against one another and create their own word battleship with the vocab words that you have. Vocabulary Ball. All you need is a beach ball, and a wet erase marker. As the ball is passed around, write the current vocab words on the different color panels to the ball. Have students take turns tossing the ball to one another and acting out the vocab word that a right thumb lands on. Other students can guess which word is being acted out, kind of like charades. Also, if you have some dice in your class, and who doesn't, you can play vocabulary rock and roll. Based on which part the dice lands on, the student will have to do what is next to that number. So for number 3, it would be make a list of synonyms. Thanks. Have a great night.